Yeah, day one. So this is third installment in the Quiet Place series, which, as its title suggests, it's a prequel. Although, of course, part two had a prequel opening, didn't it? So that was, part two began with the stuff beforehand. So this is the first appearance of the alien invaders as seen from a different point of view of the Abbott family we saw before. So parts 1 and 2 were directed by John Krasinski. This prequel is written and directed by Michael Sarnowski, who made Pig. He took over. Apparently, I didn't know this before, but Jeff Nichols, your mate Jeff Nichols, was at one point in the frame to do it, and then he dropped out due to creative differences. So Lupita Nyong'o is Sam, who's a young woman living in a hospice by New York City. She's dreaming of returning to her home in Harlem. She wants to get a pizza from her favorite pizzeria. They're on a rare trip into the city when the aliens arrive, because it's day one. She finds herself amidst all the chaos and the craziness, teaming up with Joseph Quinn's Eric, who is a Brit who went to America to study. She's also got a cat who she loves above all things and protects above all things. And they are caught together in the carnage. Now, when the trailer for A Quiet Place Day One opened, somebody said, have you seen the trailer for A Quiet Place? It's the loudest thing I've ever seen. Here is the only clip that we have, because we weren't provided with a clip. We were provided with a bit of the trailer. This is what A Quiet Place Day One sounds like.
Wow.
What do we do? Save everyone we can.
I have a plan.
I mean, you get the general idea. It's not that quiet.
It definitely is not.
So, also co-stars Joseph Quinn, Jamon Hansu, returning as the character we met before. So, here's the thing. If you remember the opening of part 2, it was unbelievable. You're in the car with Emily Blunt and the monsters started coming in, and there was that absolutely amazing sequence. And you can't top that. It's impossible to top that. So they don't really try. What they do is they go, stuff coming out the sky, alien invasion, and then very quickly it settles into the old riff of our heroes having to do everything amidst, craziness and chaos, but do it silently, whether it's two people creeping around in a deserted building and trying not to step on a piece of glass because it'll bring the Gribblies, or an entire sea of humanity shuffling their way very quietly toward the seaport because the beasties can't swim. So if you can get into a boat, you're safe. The standout scene is a scene with Lupita Nyong'o and Quinn in a Harlem bar doing a sort of silent pantomime of a night out in Harlem, which is a scene which recalls, you remember the dancing scene from the first film, in which it's kind of, they have a romantic moment and it's almost like a hark back to what life was like before everything went completely crazy. And that scene it's done nicely. I think Lupita Nyong'o gives her character real depth. I mean, this is someone for whom survival is not an option. We meet her in a hospice. She has other goals, therefore, to get back home, to find a slice of pizza that she really wants, to protect her cat, and actually to somehow look after her companion. And there's a very nice dynamic that there's the man and the woman, and he is the person who's in tears and hysterical and doesn't know what's going on. And she is the person who is calm and, rational and is getting him to, okay, now you need to do this. This is what you need to have. This is what you need to do. So I remember, I think the first time I ever saw Lupita Nyong'o on screen was in 12 Years a Slave. And then, of course, she was in Us. And she's got an incredibly expressive facial and physical manner. And she's very good for this role because she does so much of conveying the story through her expression, through her facial expression, through the way in which she holds her shoulders, through the way in which she moves, which tells us about her, the history of the pain that she's in because of her illness. And she, I think, is a really, really smart bit of casting. I think that said, this felt, unlike the two previous Quiet Place movies, I was never scared. And I think that is a problem. It may be that, okay, the gimmick has now run its course. I certainly didn't come out of it thinking I need more. I thought, okay, you've done this. You got away with it. Well done. It's good. It's a solid piece of work with a very, very good central performance. But I think it's now it's now done, because there wasn't anything in it that had that absolute. I mean, you remember how much A Quiet Place really got under your skin, and A Quiet Place too.
Absolutely.
It was good to see in those silent scenes, to see the movie make the audience go silent again, because I saw it in quite a full screening and people did go quiet, and that is good. So it's a good, solid piece of work, but it's not on a par with the previous two installments, even though it has at its center a very good performance, and I mean a very good performance by Lupita Nyong'o.